Hello and welcome back to another video in which today we are going to go over a little bit of last month and maybe see what's going on for this coming month. So going over to the main watch list, we'll just kind of scroll through these because I created a spreadsheet that took into account how far these stocks have went up since we last saw them on October 20th. So let's see here on AMKR. Just pull up this spreadsheet real quick. AMKR, we hit a max peak here at 13.67, and it only took a day for us to get there. And it was only a 4% gain, so not really nothing too crazy. AMTX, this one was a 14.35% gain we had here on October 20th. So if you would have came in the next day on the 21st, got somewhere near the bottom ish inside of here, rode it to the top the next day, that would have been a 14.35% gain ish. Let's see, I think we're talking about from the bottom of this. Here we go. So about 13% ish, 13 to 14% if you would have got inside that range. That was just a continuation, like I said last time, so that wasn't something to hold on to. Just make your money and get out. Apps actually fell through. I think my support level was around this area, and it fell through even further than I thought. They had their earnings, has this nice wick here that picked up, came back above the support around 28.31, and we'll see what happens there. But I have not touched that ever since we added it, only because we knew that we were going to wait for it to create a bottom before going into it. ARWR, that was another one that went up roughly 14%. This is the 21st here on this date. And we went up over the course of 4 days. Is that the 21st? Right here. 21st. Nope. 6 days here. 15%. That would have been good had you wrote that for a little bit, built your way into that. AVXL is one that I did go into. AVXL, I did go into this. I have 1,000 shares. I've been working with it ever since I called it out on the 20th. So I came in on the 21st, this first day right here. It immediately dropped from the open. I scooped up some shares here, scooped up a few more shares on the second day, and I had 500 total before riding that up. I had 500 total for an average of 5.17. So that so far is about 14.56% on just the original 500 shares. But I'm still in this position. As you can see, ever since then, we've been making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. This is the only day that did not make higher lows. But still held near support relatively. Bounced up off the 9 EMA, higher lows. We keep making higher highs up through this trend, higher highs, pushing up. So we'll see. I've been watching it every day, and every time it comes down to a level, it seems like it's always has this huge wall of buyers just holding the price up, and it hasn't been really coming down too much, so I like the price action so far. I'm just going to hold on to that. I believe that the next target is going to be 6.31, since we did hit $6 last time. And then from there, if you look at the weekly, nope, let's go the 20-year 1 month. You can see that back in 2015, we have hit $12, and we do have a squeeze here that has formed in the monthly. So we'll see if November will be the first month to leave the squeeze, seeing as how we've also left that squeeze here on the weekly chart. So that's looking really solid, and I think that could go further. We've had a little bit of declining momentum as people have sold some of their positions for profit, but I believe that somebody just continues to buy and buy and buy and pick up higher lows. So we'll see. That one's looking really good. That one so far has gone up 16-ish% since the 20th. BJ's just completely broke pattern. That one's no good. Car went up 13%. 13%. This is the 20th here. So that went up over 3 days. About 15, 16-ish. If you would have caught the bottom, but it's not. We're not perfect, so we're just looking for something in between. 16% was nice range to play with over 3 days, though, considering how the market has been acting these last 2 weeks, which we'll talk about momentarily. CMRE broke its trend as well. That was no good. Coop broke its trend. As you can see here, we use this wedge, this forming wedge, to prepare ourselves in case we broke upwards, similar to the way that AVXL did. But Coop did not get the message, and instead is coming down, and now is near this support level around 20.5. So we'll see in the coming days how that forms. Not touching that. FSM broke pattern after that resistance could not follow through, but it did go up 7% since we saw it on the 20th. This is the 20th here, and this range right in here, about 6%. I wouldn't touch it now, just because I think it's possible it could still come and bounce off the support here, but it's not something that I'm really interested in, as I have a hefty position in AVXL, sitting at 1,000 shares at 6.4, I believe. So we'll see. Halo had that nice consolidation that broke through but could not hold. And over the course of the 2 days, on the 20th here, it went up 6.5%. So nothing too crazy. Still needs to come down further or come back and hold this level here around 29. Until then, I wouldn't want to touch it. And that is that for last week's watch list. As you can see here, let me try and zoom in a little bit. So I'm not going to count apps, because we already knew that that one was going to be coming down anyways. We needed that one to build a support, which it has not yet. So out of the 11 that we have here, minus apps, that's 10. 30% of those, 3 of those did not work. BJ, CMRE, and Coop did not work. The other 7, AMKR, AMTX, ARWR, AVXL, CAR, FSM, Halo, all worked for an average of 10.63% over the course of really just that first week. Nothing extended out to the second week, aside from AVXL, which is still building up, but its peak was the first week of the 21st. So you could have made some decent profit, considering that the market went down. Average of 2 days. It's pretty good. So I actually created a new sheet, which we're going to go over right now. A little bit shorter, seeing as how we're going into the election on the 2nd. I have 6 picks. One of them you'll be familiar with, of course, but the first one being ACHC. Had nice volume after they had their earnings. I guess they beat their earnings, picked up off the support here that it created, and just skyrocketed. It's going to be a little iffy just because of how much it's gone. So if anything, I'd rather wait for a retest somewhere around $34 to maybe $35. Even then, yeah, maybe 35 based off of this. Boom, right. Nope, not that one. About right there. It's going to put us at about $35. So if we can hold over 35, and then follow through, that'd be nice, just for like a continuation play. It might go on for a couple of days. And I believe ACHC's price target on Finviz was 35.31. My price target is around 41.2, which is probably based off of this right here on the weekly. This candle right here back in 2018, early 2018. If we were to follow through and trend higher in the next couple days and weeks, that would be the price target. But nothing has to actually carry through. It can always just collapse, as you saw with BJ and Coop and some of the other ones. So just be wary of that. Next one, ACM. ACM looks nice as we have the support that is bouncing off around 42. It's only the second green day, but I do like how we're coming back up into these EMAs. This nice consolidation that we've had since June all the way into September. End of September was nice. As you can see, that coincided a little bit with the TTM squeeze here on the daily chart. We started to pop, hit this resistance around 46.50, came back. Now we need to come back over 45 again, 45.50, 45.50, hold this level here, and then push through. So I'd rather wait for that. Some people like to buy here. Some people would rather say I'm going to buy around 42 and wait. It might come back. It might not. For me, I'd really just rather wait for 45.50-ish area to hold, start scaling in from there. ACM, Finviz has a price target of 49.56 on average. My price target was 50, as you can see here, based off of these current or these past price levels before the collapse. And its previous price target was about $49, but that was back in 2019, November 2019. So I don't trust that too much, but just because they don't have a more recent upgrade doesn't mean that this pattern can't follow through. Just keep an eye on it. If anything, what would be nice would for sure be if we can consolidate the way that we did here at these levels. Consolidate here between 42 and 44, 46, just kind of bounce around in there for a little bit, monitor it, scoop up a few shares every time it hits 42.50, test that a little bit, and then if it follows through, nice, and if it breaks below 42.50, stop out with no harm done. No harm done. Sometimes you just gotta test these out. This one right here, I like this. It's almost similar to ACM, is it not? ACM. Now you have this consolidation here between 35 and 39. AROC. You kind of have this consolidation here between 5 and 6. Now it is a pretty low cost stock, so it's going to be relatively volatile. On average, their volume is about 900,000, but on Friday they hit 1.1 million. So their relative volume is 1.25. They're doing okay. They have the squeeze here on the daily, forming their RSIs pointing up. We're picking up into these EMAs here, which is nice. The only thing I don't like about this is that we are under the 200 EMA on the daily time frame. So anything below the 200, relatively speaking, is in a downtrend. Ever since we've broken below the 200, we've come down, rejected, came up, couldn't hold, came back down, and we'll see if we actually hold above this level this time. I would like to see $6 break and hold. Maybe retest between maybe test 650, 200 EMA, bounce back down to 620, and if that can retest and hold 620, we may be able to carry through into 7 and 8. We'll see how long that might take. Finviz price target is 8.9. It's 50% from where it's at now. I'm going to give it a price target of 7.2. Should we continue to go higher, 7.2 is this line here, based off of this candle here on 6.8. And the last price target was for $8 back in June, on June 20th, for $8. So we'll see. That's why I gave it a 7.2 price target, was because if they believe 8, then $7 it should be easy. And if you can get $6 ish, $7 to $7.20, it's about 20%. 20% is a lot better than what some other stocks are offering at the moment. Let me tell you. I already spoke about AVXL. Let me go a little deeper real quick. What I hate is extended hours, so I'm going to turn that off. You can see here on the hourly that every time these EMAs start to open up, we get this nice volatility that pushes the price higher. We came back, we kind of squeezed down, opened back up, came back. This is on the hourly chart. I have mine on a 90-day, 1 hour. Most are going to be set up for like 30 days, I believe, but I like to see a longer term time frame. So you can see that the EMAs are opening up here, the 9 and the 25. That's nice. That is nice. We have a resistance here at 6 that was caused from the 26th. So we'll see if we can follow through. I did mention that squeeze that was coming up on the monthly, and the squeeze that we just left on the weekly. So we'll definitely see if we can start to push higher. I think for myself, I actually have a job coming up on Monday the 2nd. That's going to be 30 minutes after the open, so I only get to watch about 30 minutes of the open, and then I'm going to be super busy for about 2 to 3 hours, and I think it's going to be rather sketch to hold on to a stock. I'm up, I think I want to say about 7 or 8%. I'll double check, and I'll post a screenshot of it. But they have their conference coming up on the 6th, and we'll see. I mean, they have that price target of $12 and $14. If they have good news on their developments, it's possible that we might hit 7. If it catches enough attention, it could really pop. I mean, it is a biotech, so we'll see. I don't want to count my eggs. What is it? Count my chickens? Count my eggs before they hatch? You don't want to start counting things before before you just never know. You never know. AEM has nice consolidation. I really like this on the daily. This nice consolidation. It almost reminds me, doesn't almost remind me of, it does remind me of a little bit of some AROC right in here. This consolidation that I had between 750 and 9 before it popped up, before it did the old pop. AEM, going back to AEM, you can see that same kind of consolidation side of here. So I wouldn't say that it's going to for sure trend up, but AEM does have a price target on FinViz on average of $94. Looks like the last time we had it, it was at $89. So it must have actually gone up since the last time. We'll just go ahead and add a line here. Now, what is that? 94.95 is what I said. 94.95 new average FinViz target. Show name, show price. Boom. So we'll see. 94.95. I mean, it's what do we see it on the 20th? So it hasn't done anything. Or this was from when this is from the first video in which we added all our support and resistance lines. So you can see since then it's come up, came back down. I think I had a video on the 13th. So yeah, for sure it came up the next day. Only 2%. Came back down. Now we're near this support zone. Just needs to hold that level. Maybe we get a retest like we did here. So we could come up, retest around 7.7, bounce back up. And if not, then I wouldn't worry about it. It is a gold stock, and I said before, I'm not really too into gold stocks, but that consolidation is nice, so keep an eye on it for yourself. For myself, I know that I am staying in AVXL until I'm not. That is for sure. The last one is ELF, ELF. We'll see what happens here. We just got our first squeeze starting to form here on the daily chart. We have our support around 1980-ish based off of this level here. This level was around 19.94, 1990-ish, 2080 around here resistance. So Finviz average price target is $24. My favorite number. I'm gonna give it the same, about $24. I think that if this range here starts to pop again, I mean it already popped of course, but starts to consolidate again and then bounce off of this 20, we could be good for 24. I think it just kind of seems like it's making that pattern. So from here to here, this 12-13% here to here, that's 20%, so that's a little reaching. Let's first get to $22, and I'd rather it actually come up over 20.78, maybe $21 and hold there, and then I'll start a position to start reaching for 22 and then maybe 24 from there. But we'll see with the election coming up. Everyone says that if so-and-so gets elected, the markets are going to rally, and if so-and-so gets elected, the markets are going to crash. So it might not be a good time to really be in anything unless you've been in it and have a nice average already. Otherwise, if you have an entry, if you have a position that's super close to your entry, I would probably put a stop loss at your entry, just in case Monday or Tuesday happens to be pretty crazy, because anything can really happen. Anything can happen. So that's all that I have for these. Now, unfortunately, last week, or for the last 2 weeks, I've been super busy. So busy that it was hard for me to trade on my phone. I had a lot of positions open again, and famous last words was, I'm on track to meet my goal for the month of, I think, 28-30%. And instead, I went backwards. I think we met around here, so I was actually up pretty good. But as you can see, let's see here. By that point, by the 20th, I was up $1,500, and then ever since then, I was gone and I wasn't at my computer. I dropped quite a bit actually, and if it wasn't for these 2 days here, on the 29th and the 23rd, made $280, 460 the second day, kind of helped me out. I closed the month up 17%, which is still pretty good. Not great, not bad, that's for sure. Still made $1,200. The month prior was close to 13%, so that's not bad at all either. But it is what it is. Next time, probably set your stop loss whenever you go on a trip, whenever you go on a photography trip, and maybe you won't be down as much. Don't open up positions as well unless you're fully aware. I know that I jumped into one that completely wrecked it. Thanks to NLS, I thought for sure we were going to start forming into this $27. And guess what I bought? The old $27. And it just plopped on down from there. I think that one straight took $400 for me. Maybe. I think it was down like 1,000 total at one point, but I still brought it back by at least half. I think I made like $600, that 400 and that 200, 280. So I did all right. I did all right for this month. Like I said, not great, not bad. Could have been better. You live and learn, and that's the name of the game, really. That's the name of the game. So I'm still looking at AVXL, and one more time, in case you would like to see it, these are going to be what I'm looking at for this coming week or two, I guess. Really, we'll see what happens with this election, like I said. But we have ACHC, ACM, AROC, AROC, AVXL, AEM, and ELF. And that is what is going to be on the watch list. So if you find any of this information helpful, if you like what you see, I certainly appreciate a thumbs up, maybe a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much, and happy Halloween. Take care.